Hello, everybody. Welcome to this reading. I'm preparing something for me to eat so that when my stomach starts to say, I got something. Because I don't feel like eating right now. Okay? I had some coffee, but I was led to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 decks for this reading. So we're going to be here a while. Okay? So let's get started. Healing the family. So this is for people who care about having a healthy family structure. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna see what God wants us to know so that we can make it so. Alright? I'm not gonna promise you that I'm not gonna swear. Because sometimes, depending on the issue, a nice cuss word makes everything better. Okay? So, and plus, these little children, you know what they do when you're not in their presence. Okay, so let's not pretend like they don't know these words. Let's not pretend that they don't know about certain adult activities. Let's just not pretend. I would like to have the freedom to flow freely in this conversation. Okay, I will let you do the editing if it is necessary for you to share this video with the youngers in the family. Okay, tell them don't say what Auntie Chanel say. Simple. Okay, that's a naughty word, don't say it. Right. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do yeah, so I'm leaving the parenting up to you. Okay, I'm here to deliver the messages from the Most High so that we can make some sense of our family structure and make it the best that it can be, right? Yeah. So with this deck, I made over my family deck. So what we're gonna find out is what issue God wants to talk about from this deck, and then the rest of them will give us the details of what God wants us to know about the subject. Okay. So without further delay, let's get straight into it. If I say any naughty words, please forgive me, okay? Yes. Lord, if there's anybody trying to block this reading, please keep them out so that we can receive the messages that you brought us here to receive. And do step in and deliver your messages to your people. Please and thank you. right here. Okay. So at the ooh, we got betrayal at the bottom of the deck here. All right. Let's get the message. Well, let's get the actual subject. But we got betrayal at the bottom of the deck. So, family drama. Betrayal could be either big or small. But what family doesn't have drama in it? Okay, somebody's always doing something that somebody don't like. You can't please everybody all the time. That's the first thing. Okay? Okay, so we have our subject matter. Okay. So we got physical fight, competition, and schooling came out together. Okay. And we have work. And then we have, there's more. Poor parenting and prejudice. So, right away I'm getting, this is the issue here is parents favoring one child over another. That type of approach to parenting, it creates competition and physical fight. See that? So what we got here is siblings probably fighting each other because they're competing with each other, trying to show the other one up. Okay, like I'm better than you. And this could be maybe in their work life. So it's about trying to be more successful than your siblings because your parents favor one child over the other. Okay, so it's like this one is maybe a doctor and this one is a garbage collector, and in most cases a parent would favor the doctor child over the garbage collector. But let's take a look at a scenario like that. Like, suppose there were no garbage men, what would our environment look like? Okay, so let's take a moment to look at the okay, hold on. Okay, so let's take a moment to look at occupations that parents deem to be low class occupations. I'm upset. Okay, that's the reason why I'm starting to malfunction. So I'm gonna try calm myself, but this is an upsetting situation for me, that society is a prevalent matter in society, and it causes a lot of problems. Okay, so let's get back to the matter at hand. Let's say you have two children. One child is a doctor, the other child is a garbage collector. Okay, yes, the doctor child saves lives. It sends people back to their families so that they can enjoy each other. The garbage collector keeps our environments clean. So because of the people who pick the garbage up and keep our environments clean, it keeps down the possibility of contracting diseases, okay, for them to even reach to the doctor in the first place. Imagine a world where nobody wants to be a garbage collector. What's going to happen to our environment? Mommy and daddy who want to look down on your garbage collector son or daughter. Imagine a world without chefs. You have one doctor child and you have one child that's a chef. Imagine a world without chefs. Who's gonna cook for you when you want to go to fancy restaurants to show off? Somebody's got to do it. Imagine a world without miners, like people who dig for uh, metals and whatever they be making the poor people in Africa and them place dig for. Imagine if no one was doing that. These are the elements that make up our mobile phones. These are the elements that make up a lot of the little things that we use on a daily basis that make our lives easier and more fun. Parents, I'm talking to you. There's a place for everybody in this world. And every occupation, okay, every occupation, it makes the world go around. There's nobody more important than the other. We need to get that concept out of our mind because it's an illusion. And as you can see, it's causing problems within your own family structure where there need not be problems. So what if one child wants to work in money and one child wants to be a comedian? One child is a banker and one child is a comedian. None of them are more important than the other because we need our money to stay straight. We need to keep our money affairs in order. But we also need to laugh. We need to have joy in our lives. We need somebody to teach us to see the lighter side of life. And that's what your comedian child does. So whatever professions your children have decided to go into, whatever they're passionate about when it comes to their work, see the value in it. Take time out to think about how their contribution to society actually affects society, and you'll see exactly how important your child is. How important what they do on a daily basis is. Okay? So we need to stop this thing where we see one profession as being more high class than the other. Because we need a lot of things in this world and there needs to be somebody to fulfill those positions, because just imagine a world without whatever profession you look down on. What would the world be without janitors that clean the offices and the schools? It's ridiculous. Okay? So now that we got that part out, let's move on. Let's see what else God wants us to know. So now you got your children competing with each other for your affection, competing with each other for their own self-confidence to stay high, their own morale to stay high. Why? Because society has taught us to see certain professions as being more prestigious than others. It's a fallacy. It's fake. It's an illusion. Okay? Because if the garbage collector wasn't collecting the garbage and doing a great job of it, even the corporate man, the doctor person, the bank manager, they would all be living in filth along with the rest of us. Give the garbage collectors their respect. Give the chefs their respect. Give the janitors their respect. Give the comedians their respect. And whatever other quote unquote lowly job you can think of, give them all their due respect. Right. So, let's see. And speaking to the children now that are in these professions, don't let anybody tell you how to see your job. If you got into the profession because you love it, because you respect it, because you understand it, because you're a master at it, Allow yourself to bask in it and always put your best foot forward to do it because it matters. Don't let anybody tell you how to feel about yourself and your choices. Because what really matters is how you see yourself more than anything else. Okay? You are important. Just because somebody's too stupid to see your relevance, it doesn't mean that you're unimportant. You are important. See your relevance yourself. Right. Big up yourself. If you're gonna be a cleaner, be a master cleaner. Why? Because cleaning eradicates germs. Germs create sickness. You are important. So let's get the message. This happens so often in families, it's ridiculous. And it's unfair. It's wrong. Create problems in your children's lives and in your relationship with your children's lives where there needn't be any. And then you wonder all day, like, why this child just can't get it. No, why can't you get it? Allow your children to be what inspires them. Allow them to be whatever it is that makes their heart sing. If you want the best out of your children, support your children. Stop trying to control them and tell them who they should be. God sent us all here with a programming. We are naturally who we are. Pay attention to your little ones and see what they love naturally, and that will tell you what they will be brilliant in. Support them. Stop trying to steer them in the direction that you want them to go, because then they end up in jobs that they don't even love. Why? Because they're trying to please mommy and daddy. You have a child that's brilliant with his or her hands, but you want to push them into academia. So now they end up in some boring job where they cannot express the creativity that they were naturally created to do. The thing that they were gifted to do, they can't do that. They have to do that as a side hustle or do that just as a hobby or something. When if they were putting as much time and attention into that thing more than they were putting into whatever profession you force them into, they will be so much further ahead. They could have been making groundbreaking discoveries in their gifted field. We need to stop that as parents. Respect your children. Get to know your children. Stop trying to make your children into what you want them to be. That's backward thinking. That's backward living. We are all somebody. God didn't send us here as empty vessels. We have personalities. We have traits. We have likes. We have dislikes. When you have a child, you should ask, who is that child? You don't tell that child who they are. That child will show you who they are. Then you guide that child. Teach that child to master their abilities. Teach that child to understand themselves. It's a getting to know you process. It's not a making your child process. Allow the children to be what makes their heart sing. Because that's where their excellence will come from. That's where their fortune is. We are backward. And then when the children get so annoyed at you and they start lashing out, you think they're rude. They're not rude. They're being imprisoned. You're sucking the joy and the life out of them. You're sucking the passion out of them by taking them away from who they truly are. Telling them that it's rubbish. How you think that's going to make them feel? They love it. Two more times. Okay. Look at this at the bottom of the deck. I hate you a little. You're breeding resentment. You're breeding resentment, parents, within your family by putting your children against each other like this, by exalting one profession over the other and not seeing the importance and the relevance of a profession that you believe is a low class profession. You're making them hate you. Real talk. It's like I love you, but you really get on my nerves with that. And it breeds hate between the children themselves. So the children hate you, and the children hate each other. So family dinners, family get-togethers are always tense. Excuse me. I have you under my foot. See, that's that competitive spirit. And I don't serve you. Look at that. So this is one person exalting themselves over another. So it's like, I'm better than you. That's the energy that it creates. I'm better than you, so you can't tell me what to do. That's disharmony right there. How could you not want to serve? If you don't want to serve somebody, that's a spirit of disunity, disharmony, divide and conquer. I don't serve you. Nobody's supposed to ever feel like they're too high and mighty to serve another. You see that? Cause somebody see them as beneath them. That's what it does. You see? And we got, I hate you a little, so it breeds hate between them, and I serve you a little. So this is why your family get-togethers, once you invite these people who are feuding with each other at the same time, your family dinners and your family get-togethers will never be at the level that it should be, will never be the quality that it should be. Okay? So you're breeding resentment between your children. And then they're gonna, when they see the light, especially here in this reading is gonna make somebody wake up and see the truth of the situation. And they'll be able to see parents where you made the mistake, where you basically planted these seeds. You planted these seeds of hatred. You planted these seeds of competition. You planted these seeds of division between your children. Poor parenting. Poor parenting, being prejudiced, being mean towards one child just because you see them as being of a lower class, because you have not taken the time to see their actual value or the value of what they actually do for a living. You should take the time and see how important they are. It's like looking at the plants, the animals, and the plants in creation. Every animal and every plant has its purpose. Every animal and every plant is important. It's the same with people and their professions. If there wasn't a need for garbage collection, if there wasn't a need for garbage collectors, that would never have been invented in the first place. The reason why it exists is because there's a need for it. And as long as there's a need for something, then that person is important. You see, that's the truth of the matter. So your friends may not think that it's prestigious, or your friends may look down on you and laugh at you because you have a son or a daughter who is a garbage collector or whatever. But it's all about the perception, and it's all stupidity, to be quite frank. It's stupidity. You're being stupid, and your friends who think this way with you, they're stupid too. That's the reality. It's stupid thinking. I would like to see what happens if the garbage people go on strike for a month. Let's see how important you think they are then. Ridiculous. All the jobs that you people look down on as low class. I want to see what happens if they decide not to go to work for a month. Let's see if you feel the same way about them. It's stupid thinking. It's disrespectful to them too. One more time. Just imagine, yeah. Just imagine if everybody in the world was to either be a doctor or a lawyer or a financial whatever, bank manager and all them kind of things that you people put up there, a politician and them kind of things. So now tell me, who's gonna do our hair if nobody want to be a hairdresser? How you gonna be looking going to work? Who's gonna do our hair? Who's gonna do our nails? Who's gonna give us our massages when we feel when everybody feel tight and tie up? Who gonna clean up the rubbish? Who's gonna cook our food? At the bottom of the deck, we got Queen of the Wilderness. It says the language of the natural world is a frequency of love. This is my mother tongue. Exactly. First of all, whatever they decide to do for work, it's natural. It's necessary. There's a need for it. And therefore it should be respected. The language of the natural world is a frequency of love. They're doing it because they love it. Allow them to follow their love. This is their mother tongue, you know. Allow your children to follow their love, man. You get the best out of them, trust me. So that when they made the decision to do what they want to do, it's an attitude shift that was needed within you, the parents, not within the child. Because for me, when I was younger, I wanted to do hairdressing. My mother wanted me to go be a lawyer or a doctor or something. And I thought about how many more years of school that'll take. And I'm like, there's no way that I went through all them years of schooling only to come out now to go back in for 4 more years and whatnot. And plus, that's not even something that I was spending my lifetime doing. Hairdressing is something that I was naturally drawn to. You know what I'm saying? And she fought me hard on it, but I'm stubborn. I stand up for my rights, and I did my hairdressing anyway. And you know what happened? She got her hair done for free. She didn't have to pay to get her curly perm and her braids anymore. You know how much money she saved after she fought me so hard to not go and do that as a profession? Eh? It's what I love. It's what I do. It's who I am. She was supposed to support me. So imagine if I was a wicked child now. I could just tell her, no, I'm not doing your hair. After you fought against me like that, you want me to now do your hair and do your hair for free. Yes, I live in her house and all these things, but regardless, it's the principle. Okay, take the money out the equation. Even if I don't charge her, I had every right to not do her hair after she gave me hells to not go and do that course. Now you want to reap where you did not want to sow. You parents aren't thinking. If your child has a natural affinity towards something, you won't have to tell them to go study. They'll naturally put in the effort to learn more about it because they love it. And that's how they're going to reach that excellence. That's how they're going to get all that fortune. It's because of the time and the energy and the drive that they put behind it. Why? Because they love it. It's a formula. So we have, oops, spitball. We have the Divine Mother. It says, unconditional love exists within me. The presence of love is the absence of judgment. And unfortunately, judgment was present when your child was making their career choices. You had objections to it instead of allowing them to walk their own path. You know? But it says unconditional love does exist within you. The presence of love is the absence of judgment. So if you just take judgment out of the equation and think about what's happening from a logical perspective, you'll see how important your child is to society as a whole. And if your friends can't see that, if your pastor or your imam or whoever can't see that, then there's something wrong with their vision too, and perhaps you need to help them to see your child more clearly, or the profession that your child is in more clearly. They are needed in society. They're important. Because I want to go outside and see my garbage collected. I don't want to be piling up trash there for weeks and months and smelling that horrible smell. And come on, garbage collectors, you are important. Janitors, you are important. My dear chefs, you are important. Babysitters, you are important. Everything that people look at as shopkeepers, you are important. All of you that they look down on, you are important. Okay? Don't let anybody fool you. Mechanics, you are important. You are prestigious. You are all garbage man, you're prestigious. All y'all are prestigious. I said you are prestigious. I'm not tripping. You are prestigious. You may not wear a suit and tie, but what makes you prestigious is how you do what you do. You do it well. If you do it well, you're prestigious. Take your credit. And keep up the good work. Because if you were to pick up the trash and be dropping trash all over the place, it won't make us happy. If you clean up the trash and all of it go into the back of the truck, we praise you. Thank you for your service. Don't let anybody bring you down. I know it's a hard concept to break because it's a long time that society has been infusing us with these thoughts, okay, about these job titles or professions. It's a long time society has been teaching us to look down on these professions. So it's gonna be a challenge to get it out of our mindset. But even though we think this way, it doesn't make you guys any less important. The truth is still the truth, whether people want to see it as the truth or not. Take a month off. Go on strike for a month and see what society will be like without your presence and without your input in society. That me want you to do. Imagine society without you, without people doing what you do. All right. At the bottom of the deck, we got healing with nature. See, more nature vibes again. So it's all about natural. What is natural? It's about facing the truth, facing the reality of the situation. Your soul yearns to be outside in nature around the healing waters, flowers, and trees, but this is more of a mental concept. So your soul yearns to be in a natural frame because you're outside of what is natural. That's why you're creating all this havoc in your family life without realizing it. Because instead of being true to yourself and seeing things for what it actually is, you're choosing to apply these principles that were taught to us by people in society. You're choosing to hold those principles as your truths. And that's the problem. Your soul yearns to be true to itself. Because I know you know what I'm saying, parents. I know you know what I'm saying. But holding this as your truth would be going against the grain. And so many other people don't see it this way because they've had the spell cast on them too. It's a deception. It's deception. It's an illusion. It's brainwashing. But don't expect peace within your family in this aspect if you choose not to face and respect the truth. Okay. So we got education. It says education is an important part of your soul's development at this time. Definitely. Why? Because you are sabotaging yourself. You're sabotaging your family with these concepts. Self-sabotage. You may be creating pain for yourself and your family by standing in your own way. Yeah, they taught us, but in this world there's a lot of things that we need to unlearn and then put the right information into our hard drive. You see? Yeah, we have to be natural. Your soul yearns to be true to itself. Empath. You may be confusing other people's energy with your own. In this case, it's other people's concepts, other people's perception, other people's principles. You're confusing them with your own. So you've taken on this belief that it's more prestigious to be a bank manager than it is to be a garbage collector or a lunch or dinner lady. If we have no dinner ladies, who's gonna feed our children when they go to school? So why not respect the dinner ladies or dinner men? Somebody has to do it and do it well. So if they do it well, give them their credit. They are important. They are an important part of the machine. They help to make the body of society circulate smoothly. They deserve to be respected. So we got speaking up. Your soul is guiding you to stand in your light and speak your truth. Exactly. Your soul yearns to be true to its truth. Because you know better. You know what the truth of the matter is. And then we have universal mind. You're about to receive the solution to your problem or concern. Yeah, we've already given you the answer to this. And then we have increase. You have successfully manifested something near and dear to your heart, like bringing peace back within your family in this situation. At least in this situation, there'll be more harmony by facing the truth. Yeah, recognition. Someone deserves to be recognized for all that they do. They're all important, man. Whether they're garbage collectors or whatever. Whether they make toys or whatever they do. They're just a writer. They're important. How pleasant it is to sit down with a good book. Hey? We got surrender. Release and surrender all control and let nature take its course. Yeah. This is the beginning of healing for your family in this situation. Then we have dark night of the soul. You're in the midst of a spiritual awakening. So it's going to feel kind of harsh, okay? When we recognize the error of our ways, it's gonna feel uncomfortable for a bit, but then you'll be able to smile once you talk it over and you get it out into the open and everybody understands where everybody's coming from. Trust me, this is really good for your family, okay? Circulation. Let's get your next message. So many families have been destroyed by this same topic here. On the rocks. When there needn't be conflict, competition. But it's not entirely your fault, okay? I'm sure that your parents before you, they were infused with the same concept. So you naturally grew to believe that too. You know what I'm saying? And this is like a generational curse. So now it's time for us to break these curses now that we start to see the problem. You know, when we see the problem, then you can do something about it. Failure to do something about it means that the problem will persist, you know. So this is my teach me how to love deck, but whatever message comes out, I know that it will pertain to this reading. So I will convert the concept of it to the subject that we're dealing with, okay? I need to make some more decks, but let's see what message God has for you guys in this deck. Okay, let's see. Okay, so bear with me while I explain this, okay? So this card at the bottom of the deck says, shake your ass for your partner. Yes, gentlemen, this advice is for you too, okay? So shake your ass. Now, what I'm getting from this is it's time to shake things up, basically, okay? It's time to shake things up. It's time to put in the effort to correct this mistake. And that means that you're going to ruffle some feathers, including your own, including your children, including your friends, and everybody else in society who wants to judge you for accepting all of your children equally, okay, regardless of their profession. You're gonna ruffle some feathers, but it's time to shake things up if you want to bring harmony back to your family. Okay, it's not about the rest of the world now, it's about y'all, because at the end of the day, you are each other's support. So who you gonna put as most important, your family or the opinions of everybody else in society who has not grasped this concept yet? This is advanced, this is advanced learning, so to speak. Okay, this concept is actually, it will actually propel you forward smoothly. Okay, so it's worth the sacrifice, in my opinion. It's like, who don't like it, too bad, because I see the sense in what's happening here. I don't need to be hating my child or being or thinking or seeing my child as a disappointment just because they're a garbage collector. And I keep mentioning garbage collector because a lot of people look down so horribly on garbage collectors. Okay, so really and truly, the people who do the job anyway, we need to give them a pat on the back for being able to see past the judgments of people. They sacrifice for us every day because that garbage truck don't smell nice. So what if your child wants to be a clown and make children laugh? Maybe that's the most fun that that child has had in probably a year. You know what I'm saying? Your child being that probably has changed some little child's life, giving them joy in a time of their life when they haven't seen joy in so long. Allow them to be. Respect your child's path. You don't know how God is using them. Okay, so we got flexibility. Like I said, this is a okay. So what we're gonna do is take out the word sex in this card, okay, and we're gonna replace it with like interaction. So it says flexibility. It is a vital component of incredible interaction. It says sex, but let me let you read it first, and then you'll see how I'm gonna change it to fit what this reading is about. So it's not about sex, obvious, because you're dealing with your family, okay? So it's talking about how you interact with each other. So God is saying you need to be flexible, okay? This is an important component of incredible interaction, okay? So yeah, caringly assist your children with increasing their flexibility and them help you with your flexibility. So this is saying to me that you guys need to speak to each other with respect. You guys need to slow down and listen to each other and try to see from each other's perspective. Okay? That's what this is saying to me. Let's see what the next card is. Then we have a visit somewhere beautiful with your partner. So this is, yeah, let them explain to you why they do what they do, you know, what they love about it. Try to understand their their profession or their career from their perspective, because it's beautiful to them, you know. And to know that it disappoints their parents, it has the power to kill some of their joy. You know what I'm saying? So they won't really be in it as much as they would like to be. Why? Because they don't have your blessing as their parent, you know. They respect your opinion, they value your opinion, so it's going to affect them negatively to some degree. But when you start to show more support, when you start to be more flexible, be a bit more open, trying to understand what they do and why they do, and just get to know the job a little bit more, and the returns that they get from it. Because for me as a hairdresser, the reason why I love doing hairdressing is because I the creativity, it calms me, number one. Okay, one of my greatest pleasure is for a client to sit in front of me and tell me, do I want. It's like an artist with a canvas. That's how it makes me feel. It just frees my soul. Okay, so it calms me. And also when I'm finished, and the client, they love how they look, I could see the joy on their faces. I could feel the vibration coming from them and going to me. So that's like double pay as far as I'm concerned. I'm happy to make people happy. And that's the reason why I chose that job. And also later on I discovered that my hands are kind of soothing. I don't hurt them the way how most hairdressers. I'm not a rough hairdresser. I'm calming, I'm soothing, my energy is nice. So they come and it's like a spa day. You see, so this is the reason why I do what I do. It's because of the returns that I get. I get pleasure from it. It makes me happy to do that for people. And it makes them happy when they receive the gifts of my creativity. And when they could go home and lie down comfortably on their cornrows, that's even better. Because most people, when they get their cornrows at other people, they can't lie down comfortable, they can't smile comfortably. But I have the gift to do it well enough where people could still smile and still lay down, and it doesn't rip out their hairline and all these things. So I see the value in me as a hairdresser. You see it? So if my mother ever wanted me to express this, then that's what I would tell her. This is why I love it. It makes me happy, and it makes me happy to make other people happy. And I'm great at it. And I made good money from it too. So, and it's like I go to work every day and I don't feel burdened. That's another reason why I love it. It's because it's something that I actually love to do. So to get up and get ready and see my clients, I don't feel burdened. You know what I'm saying? It's like whatever challenge may come, I don't feel burdened. I feel happy to go to work and do extra time as well. You know? So that's the difference when you love your job, whatever job it is. And that's healing for me too. Imagine you're going to work, you're working, but you're actually healing while you're working. Because if they say that stressful situations produce negative chemicals in our body that break down our body, then if we're doing something that's positive, and it's creating positive chemicals in our body, then that means it's healing us. So we're healing while we work. Why? Because we're happy. You see? So it's important. It's important to follow our children's path. Let them shine the way that God created them to shine, because they'll be happy. And seeing our children happy, it makes us happy, you know. But it should. And you never know, because I mean, some hairdressers, they could charge, let's say, £100 for their services, depending on what it is. But for the same service that one hairdresser may charge £100, around the right circles, because their skills have taken them to those circles, they may be able to charge £1,000 for the same service. Why? Because they've had time to really master their skill. Their work ethics are great. Their attitude towards the job is great. People like their energy, and people with big money, they want to use their services. So they get to pay big money for their skills. And it's the same cornrows that somebody else would be doing, but because of the circles that you're around, You could charge big money. It's like buying a bottle of water for £1 in a shop here, and when you go to the airport, one bottle of water is like £4. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, when you get time to put time into your craft and it takes you to those circles, then you get to make more money. But you have to start small, and they have to be in love with their job to want to put in the kind of dedication that it takes to carry them for them to be requested in those higher levels of society, the people who have money. Because even if it's a barber, you could be a barber in the ghetto, you could be a barber in somewhere in the middle, and you could be a barber for the stars. A barber for the stars, they're all doing the same job, but it's a different pay. You see? So don't look down, don't be so quick to look down on people. Don't be so quick to look down on people and what they choose to do for work. Because if they really get to put in the type of effort and the type of dedication and the type of love, trust me, they'll be requested. They'll be requested by people who are willing to spend big money for what they do. Look at how much money Dave Chappelle and Cat Williams and those people make for telling jokes. Hmm? You'd never expect that to be. But it happens. And it's because they were supported in their craft. Or at least they loved it. And even if they weren't supported, they demanded to be able to do what they love to do. So they were rebellious, like me. They stayed on their path, come what may, you know. And that's why right now I'm one of the top locticians in the world. Hmm? And I'm quite good at doing plaits as well. I'm one of the top hair braiding technicians in the world. It's what I love. It's what I do. It's what I've been doing all my life. I got like 30 years experience. Come on. If I'm not great by now, it's like, what's the point? If you're a fantastic cleaner, you don't have to remain a cleaner. You could become so good that you start to develop your own cleaning solutions because you've dealt with them so much that you understand how this one reacts with this one. So you could bring some of the most dingiest places back to life like they're brand new. Come on, that's incredible skill, okay? And instead of just being a cleaner all your life, you could start your own cleaning company. You could have a chain of cleaning companies. So don't be so quick to look down on your child who's just a cleaner. You understand? It's how we see things. It's how we allow ourselves to be pushed. You know? If your child's a security guard, yes, they're just a mere security guard today, but they could have their own security company because they've had so much experience in being a security guard. They've experienced so many different scenarios that they know the business inside and out, and then they've made so many connections with different people in that field that they can all get together and start their own security companies, and then they can have different branches worldwide. Come on, you know. And if they're smart, they'll create their own training course and give themselves even more training, like army training, like SWAT training. You know, the kind of people who would want to hire them for security purposes. People with big money would put in. It's what you put into it will determine what you get out. But if you don't love what you do, or if you're not encouraged to love what you do, you're not going to be thinking on those levels. Support them. You never know where they might end up. Support them. Have faith in them. Support them. Don't look down on what they choose. Support them. Okay, at the bottom of the deck, we've got the High Priestess. So the High Priestess, excuse me, that talks about following your intuition. Okay? Follow your mind. Be smart about this. And encourage them to follow their mind, follow their intuition when it comes to whatever business they're into. Because God is going to give them inspiration to be more. Page of Pentacles. Yeah, they start small. Page of Pentacles. That's starting small. But it's tangible. It's something that you actually can see. It's something that you can actually manipulate if you work towards it. Okay? Just because it's small, it doesn't mean it has to stay small. Use your intuition about small beginnings. Okay? All them people who have big churches, you want to hear their stories. They talk about how, especially TD Jakes, talk about how he used to be preaching in a storefront or something like that. It's just a tiny little thing. Sometimes he didn't even know how he's gonna pay for his spot. It was hard, but now look where he is as a pastor. Some people, they have a whole candy empire and what. They probably started out just selling a few candy bars, just a little cart or something, and you keep up and you handle what you're doing properly, you can end up with a whole shop, just candy everywhere, you know. So don't think that small beginnings mean that you're gonna stay there. So now the underlying issues, we got the Eight of Swords. Look at that. Trapped. But you're not really trapped, because the swords are actually behind this person. So it's just how we choose to see things. So don't let your mind fool you. Use your intuition, because your intuition can show you that it can be so much more if you work together. Three of Pentacles. So one mind is good, two minds are better than one, and three minds are great. Support each other. Come up with ideas to problems. Nine of Swords. So that they can be the star. You see it? So instead of fighting against each other, y'all need to work together. Okay? Yeah. So yeah, don't watch the small beginning. Support them. Support them. And those same friends who think that you're being ridiculous for supporting your garbage collector son or daughter, that person may come and have their own garbage collection firm. International too. Money coming from everywhere. And it started out by them doing it and understanding the concept, and because they care about cleanliness, because that's why somebody go into that, you know. A teacher go into teaching because they care about children and their education. Well, a good teacher anyway, or a great teacher. A great garbage collector, they go into it because they like to see the place clean. You see? So when you care about something like that, things that regular people won't be paying attention to, you be paying attention to. Why? Because you care. And then somebody who cares, they could then share that care with somebody and really take it seriously. And let it grow into what was just a small little page of pentacles become the star. What can I equate that to? That's like, let's think about Chanel, the brand Chanel. Imagine Chanel made her first Coco Chanel, made her first whatever she made first. She was a nobody. She was a nobody. Nobody knew about her. And she kept at it. Or whoever. Her support system, they kept at it. They believed in her. They kept at it. And look at what Chanel is now. All these brands, Louis V, Gucci, Balenciaga, all of them, they started off as nobodies. Even the computer people, nobody cared about them and their computer programming before because we didn't understand it. We didn't know what it was. Their parents probably gave them hell. Like, why you always locked up in your room fiddling with that nonsense stuff instead of you go outside and find a job? That's probably how the people who are top technicians when it comes to computers, that's probably how their parents were talking to them. And now look how important their jobs are. Don't despise humble beginnings, man. Start small, but keep working at it and think big. Don't just be a cleaner. Have ambitions to own your own company or companies because you understand the ins and outs of cleaning. Why? Because you've been on the floor, you've been on the ground level, you've been in it. So now you understand it. You know what to expect from your employees. And we're not taking no rubbish because this is my name, this is my reputation, and you're representing me. So when I send you out on a job, I want nothing but the best from you so we can keep our title of excellence. And this is why it's important for us to always believe in ourselves. I'm speaking to the children now who find themselves in this kind of predicament. You don't need everybody to believe in you. The most important person that you need to believe in you is yourself. Always believe in yourself. Support yourself. When nobody else wants to support you, keep supporting yourself, because when you manifest what you have within yourself and the rest of the world sees it, then they'll be willing to get on board and support you. But at the time, nobody sees your vision, only. So don't let anybody change your vision. Don't let anybody make you wishy-washy about your craft, about your love. Okay? Do what you love. You're gonna be excellent at it. And if you're in a job right now and you can't do what you love, start to include what you love in your life so that you can build on it. And when you retire, if that's the case, then you can start your own business doing what you actually love. Take a holiday and then jump back into work, because that's what keeps us alive. People die when they go into retirement because they're bored out their wits and their body get weak because they don't do no exercise whatsoever. Everything just starts shutting down. But if you keep working the body, you keep moving the body, you keep using your mind, it stays active, it stays relevant, it stays powerful, and it keeps serving you. All is not lost. It's never too late. Never. One moment, I'm coming. Two more. At the bottom of the deck, we got the chaser. It says, chaser in codependent relationship, fear of abandonment issue. You're basically chasing your children away by not supporting their dreams. And then by supporting one child and not the other, you're making the other two, you're making them chase each other away. So family dinners are never as much fun as they should be. Nobody wants to play any board games, or they're not having as much fun as they should if they do choose to engage. Family photos, you can tell by the smile on their faces or the half smile on their faces, they're not really happy. You know what I'm saying? You can't get to create those beautiful moments and memories that every time you look at the photos, they're supposed to invoke that good feeling within you. You know what I'm saying? They need to be happy to make that. Just good vibes only. Okay, so we got mirror. Now, what I heard when I saw this mirror card is like, take a look at yourself kind of energy. Okay, but I'm gonna read what the card says. The card says, mirroring each other, self-image, that's the one. Relationships reflect our wounds, and introspection, that's what's important to you on this card. It's time for introspection, time to look within, really understand the situation, okay? And then let your children know that, you know what, I get it now. But it'd be nice if you kind of share some, more insights with me, like, why do you actually love it though? Like that. And then we have healing heart. It says healing from heartbreak, freedom from toxic relationship or addiction, or toxic teachings. Freedom from toxic teachings in this case. Okay? So yeah, it's time for you to do some introspection so you can heal from these toxic teachings. And before you have to run into more problems, before you make decisions in the future, try and think about the actuality of what you're doing or saying, especially with your grandkids, because you don't want to make the same mistake with your children, with your grandkids that you made with your children. Okay, learn from this mistake. Okay, and let your children learn from this mistake as well. Let's clean up society. I'm excited. Okay, I'm excited. Okay, so at the bottom of the deck we got seduction. So seduction in this case is not a sexual thing because it's a family issue. So this seduction is talking about being more welcoming towards each other. It says attraction, flirting, dating, hooking up, temptation. third party interference, but this is actually just being more accepted by each other. So once you do the introspection and you start to heal your heart and you let your children know, you know what, I'm sorry that I was seeing this thing so wrongly for so long, and right now I want to correct that. So I'm asking for your forgiveness, and let's try and get this thing right finally. Okay? Because Chanel on Ask God here was saying a whole lot of things that make a whole lot of sense. Okay. So let's see if there's any substance to this. It sounds like it makes sense, but let's try it out and see if it actually work. You know? So yeah, let's see what comes next. So we got seduction, to being welcoming to each other. Yeah, soulmates. Exactly. And then that soulmated vibes will bring abundance. Okay? It will end the crap. Yeah, man. It will break up the bad vibes. So the soulmate card says soul connection, partnership agreement, soul contract. Yeah. And the abundance card says keep a positive mindset, manifest exactly what you want, gratitude and bliss. Yeah, man. We are champions over here. We're not robots, we are people. We can program ourselves. We can deprogram and reprogram ourselves. Let's get your next message. So we got 3 more decks. 1, 2, 3. Okay. To bring you messages from. So let's see what else God wants to say. Two more. Okay, at the bottom of the deck we say it has, at the bottom of the deck it says, I just want a fling, nothing serious. So this is talking about somebody who doesn't want to take things seriously. Okay. Let's see where God is going with this one. I feel like that's when you could see your child as a disappointment, when they choose not to take it seriously. That's the difference. So yeah, pay attention to how they approach their job. Because if they're not taking it seriously, then that's a waste man or a waste gal, you know. Okay, so I was getting, this is from like the parents' perspective. So we have, I want this to get better, but we have damaging secrets. So I'm getting ego from this. Mommy and daddy, you have to let your ego take a back seat, because the quality of relationship that you could be having with your children and your grandchildren is at risk here. So your ego needs to take a back seat. Okay? And perhaps you don't need to tell everything, but as a matter of fact, go into prayer first. Start this off with some prayer. That's what you should do. Before you start to make these changes and make these corrections in your relationship with your children, ask God to guide you. Matter of fact, pray with them there and ask God to guide you guys so that you could come out successful. Okay? It's gonna be challenging times, but there is a desire for this to get better. So pray first. So God only make what need to come out, because they don't need to know everything. Okay, we're allowed to have secrets. Especially if it's gonna be creating a whole bunch of palaver. Some damaging secrets you need to tell and just go through the fire and come out on the other side. But some of it, that's just between you and your God. Okay? So the underlying relationship, we have I just want to fling, nothing serious. And then we have believe what you want. So this person is lying to themselves. Okay. So, but like I said, I want this to get better. So parents, you've been lying to yourself in the first place because you love your children. You love your children. So it's like you weren't really dedicated to even having a desire to make this get better, or so you were telling yourself. Like you were telling yourself you don't care about this here situation. It's like, it is what it is. At least I got one son or one daughter that's doing dot dot dot. I don't really care what the other one is doing so much. Like, I'm not gonna allow you to stress me. But you do care. That's what this is saying. So God says you need to stop lying to yourself, because you actually want it to get better. So like I said, before you start this healing process with your children, start with a prayer. Okay? You can pray with or without them there, but put God at the head of this mission. Okay? Okay. When you haven't eaten and you start burping, that's a sign it's time to eat. Come on. Okay. Ooh. Got a blank slate at the bottom of the deck. That's what we like. Like, begin again. Yep. God is giving you another chance. Yeah. So you do want it to get better. So God is like, here is the opportunity. And like I said, pray first. Need guidance. Because this will be a tricky, like I said, damaging secret. So it's going to be a tricky problem to navigate, you know. Yeah. So do expect a loss of stability, which it's the situation's already unstable. Okay, the situation is already unstable, so there's gonna be some turbulence in you trying to fix this. So do expect that, but it's already shaky. Okay, why? Because of these blockages. Because of these blockages, you you've basically shut one person down. You've kind of diminished their love for what they do, or kind of stepped on their confidence a little bit. And it's been a while that this has been going on, so it's gonna be a little bit, yeah. It wasn't the cleanest uh, parenting, you know, and it's not entirely your fault. You've been infected. Your mind has been infected. It's basically a virus, psychological virus. That's what teachings like these are. They've corrupted our hard drive, you could say. So, you know, humans are the first computers. So these teachings have corrupted your hard drive. Look, and where you're supposed to be friends with your children, where you're supposed to be having great times with your children, it created a block. It created a block, and that loss of friendship between your children also kind of diminished how much control or how much guidance they'd be willing to take from you. So it's like they don't want to hear anything that you have to say. They don't want to hear anything from each other either, because where these children could have been supporting each other in their respective fields, because of this because of this boundary that has been erected because of classism, they wouldn't be supportive of each other. You see? So God is giving you a chance to start over, but just know that it's not gonna be easy. Okay? So we got loss of hearing and loss of sight. Yeah, nobody wants to hear anything that anybody wants to say, and y'all don't really want to see each other either. And that's why uh holiday time or Christmas time or whenever you guys associate with each other, it's just it's not as magical as it should be. It's not full of love and good vibes as it should be. Okay. Then we have loss of mobility and loss of access. Loss of access to each other, loss of access to your love, you know. So yeah, so God says expect that it's not gonna be like smooth sailing all the time, but it's a worthy venture. Okay, for the love of your children and the friendship of family, is a worthy venture. How pleasant would it be to see your children actually supporting each other in their respective fields? You know, it would be nice. That's how it should be. Because just because one person chose this career path and one person chose another career path, it doesn't mean that they know nothing of each other's career path. You understand? So you might be surprised what one may know about what the other one has decided to take on as a profession. Yeah, man, a division has been created, and God is giving you an opportunity to fix it by helping you to understand what the problem is. So, this is the problem. Because I'm sure you didn't mean to create this rift between your children or create this rift between you and your children. It's what they call it? It's like the result of this mindset that you were taught. You didn't see it coming. Because you figure as parents you're doing the best thing for your children. That's how they sell it to us. Like, this is the best thing for you. I am your parent. I'm the adult. I have the experience. I know better. I just want what's best for you. But the reality is, mom and dad, your child is a person, and they need to be seen and respected as their own person. They need to be supported as their own person. If they're not supported as their own person, then it's an attack on their person without you seeing it as an attack. It is actually an attack because they will see it as restriction, they will see it as oppression. It's an attack. So they sold it to us as though we're doing what's best for our children, but the reality is we're not. Find out who your children are, and then you will know how to guide them, how to support them. If your child's meant to be a doctor, you will see signs when they're young that they love to deal with health, they love to deal with things, they love to care for people, things like that. You'll see. If your child's meant to be a dancer, you'll see they love dancing. If your child's meant to be a musician, you could tell they love the drums, they love whatever. Even the cleaner is a cleaner from their youth. They love to clean. Some of them love to look after babies. Some of them love vehicles. Your child will tell you who they are and what they're destined to become. It's our job as parents to support their destiny, not change it. We are guardians. That's what we are as parents. We are portals. We are guardians. Before they are our children, they are God's children. God sent them here to be who God called them to be. They came here with their programming. Our job is to nurture that. Two more. Okay, at the bottom of the deck we got, it's not time to reveal that yet. So knowledge will come slowly. Okay? So don't be uncomfortably about don't be feeling uncomfortable about not knowing all the answers. Okay? And don't be hesitant to tell your child when you don't know the answer to a question. So perhaps they'll ask you something. Or children, don't be hesitant to tell your parent that you don't know the answer to something. Like if you've never thought about whatever they're asking you about, just say, I never really thought about that, but I should. I'm gonna get back to you on that. But there's information that's not being revealed yet. Information will come slowly. Okay? And everything will come in its due time, because it's saying it's not time to reveal that yet. So some things is better not knowing until certain other aspects are in place. Okay? Like your mood. Maybe you're not ready to talk about it yet because you're too upset. Or maybe one of the children are too upset, so they're not ready to talk. Just be patient. Okay? So sometimes when I'm upset, I want to talk about it, but Even if I try to open my mouth, it's like the words aren't coming out. Why? Because I'm forcing myself to do it before I'm actually ready. But I do want to talk about it. You know? Okay, so this is the last one. Let's check to see if this is meant to be in the reverse. Feels correct like this. Okay, so brainstorming is in the reverse. So it's not time to reveal that yet. Brainstorming in the reverse. The underneath, yeah, so it says influencing the soul or the spirit. That's the underlying issue. And it says it's not time to reveal that yet. So like I said, perhaps, yeah, there's a delay. Okay, so the, you guys are gonna have these discussions. They are gonna come, but God is saying don't force it. Don't try to force it. Yes, you want to make it better. Yes, you have good intentions, but you have to wait until everybody is ready. Because if everybody is not ready, it's gonna just feel like more pressure. You know? So let them feel good within their soul first, and they'll let you know when they're ready. Okay? Because when everybody is ready and willing to listen and share, then you can make progress. You don't force the issue. But you can let them know, you know what, I've seen the error of my ways, and I would like to correct this problem that I've caused. My ignorance has caused. Okay? And let them know as well, this is generational teaching, okay? So that they can look out for where they have been misguided. Because there's a lot of that in society, period, where we were taught one way, our parents were taught this, their parents were taught this, and nobody tried to correct these things, these principles. But there are principles that we govern ourselves and our societies by that need to be they need to be looked at, and they need to be corrected or shifted or something, because they're not serving us. Anything in society, any practices, traditions, whatever we do that's not serving us properly, it's an indication that we need to take a look at this and see where the problem is actually coming from, and is there anything we can actually do about this. Because I suffered with this with my parents. Like, do I want my children to suffer with this? You know? And so on and so on and so on. Okay? So, not just healing the family, we're healing our society as well. So, my darlings, thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you found the information revealed here today helpful. And I wish you the very best in healing your family. Okay? Until next time, my loves. Mwah. Kisses. Bye bye.